So the same thing in church responsibility, in the church context. Taking on a role which you are not prepared for is the same thing as what Ananias and Sapphira did. Okay? You have to be cautious against volunteering for responsibilities that aren't aligned with one's calling or readiness. By avoiding unnecessary commitments, avoid unnecessary commitments. People will spare themselves the headache of bearing courses. By avoiding unnecessary commitments, individuals can spare themselves unintended consequences within the church community. However, to attract certain blessings, one must serve. It's important to dedicate genuine efforts when you're serving God. You have to be dedicated, you have to be committed, you have to be true and faithful in service to the Lord. My cousin made a post saying some pastors can't have good sons and daughters around them until they change their PA and people they surround themselves with. Your character actually can negatively influence the church. Your character can both negatively and positively influence the church community, influence the newcomer, that new person that is coming into your church. Okay, is either a church is going to thrive or fall on their church workers. You need the spirit of understanding and the grace of God to do the work in every department. Whether be it church, usher, you're the usher. You know, ushers are over, some of them are overzealous, some of them are unfriendly, some of them lack warmth. When they face issues in the house and in their relationships, they bring it to the church and they don't smile, they frown, they are rigid, their body language, unwelcoming body language, and all that. Even those that don't even know the work of an usher, you know, in churches where they lack training or they don't even attend the training that the church offers to their workers, then on Sunday they dress up as an usher and come and stand as an usher. Okay, we have the protocols. They suffer from poor communication. We have the pastors, the evangelists. We have the choristers. We have the choristers that don't want to cooperate. The HOD will say, let us wear this, and they will say, why don't you wear that? They're always causing havoc here and there. We have such mixture of people. You know, in every gathering you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, so we need to ask for grace. When we are serving God, we need to ask for grace to forge ahead in order to avoid unnecessary curses. You avoid unnecessary curses. Some of the curses are found in Jeremiah chapter 48 verse 10a, which says, "Cursed be he who does the work of the Lord negligently, with slackness and deceitfully." Number 2, in Matthew chapter 25, in the parable of the talents. Remember the parable of the talents, where the master gave some 5 talents, gave 2, and gave 1. Okay, verse 15 says, "And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each in proportion to his own personal ability." To his own personal ability. That's the master saw each of them and knew that, okay, this person can handle 5, I will give him 5. This person can handle 2, I will give him 2. This person that can handle 1, I will give him 1. We should go and read that. That's Matthew chapter 25. Okay, verse 23 says, "His master said to the one that came back with that multiplied the talents that was given to him, said, 'Well done, you upright, honorable, admirable, and faithful servant. You have been faithful and trustworthy over a little. I will put you in charge of much. Enter into and share the joy, the delight, the blessedness which your master enjoys.'" That is the blessing. When you serve God with all your heart, this is one of the blessings. Now, the cause for the person who buried his talent, who served with deceitfulness, who buried his talent in the ground and didn't multiply it, is found in verse 28, which says, "Which the talent was taken from and given to another." Now, the cause for the person who served deceitfully, the person who was given one talent and hid it and did not multiply the talents, was found in verse 28. Verse 28, the talent was taken away from him. Then in verse 30, it says, and throw the good for nothing servant into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and grinding of teeth. You see? Revelation chapter 3 verse 15 to 16 says, so because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew you out of my mouth. Then James chapter 4 verse 17 says, therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. James chapter 4 verse 17 says, therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. And we all know the consequences of sin. The consequences of sin is death. It could be death of your career. It could be death of, maybe you are praying for an answered prayer, that your prayer is gone because it's a prayer of a sinner. Okay, you have to repent first before you pray and ask God for things. We know the consequences of sin, so we should try our utmost best to do our everything that we do with all diligence. Now let us end with this, okay? But each man's eternal rewards are proportioned according to his faithfulness and not according to his earthly recognition or the lack of it. Remain faithful and true to your calling. Shalom.